right now on KMBC 9 News at 10.
Tonight, challenging the candidates.
This is happening everywhere. We have a chance to do something different.
With only days before the election, voters ask some hard questions.
We will not rest until there is no child who gets bullied in a single school.
The race for the White House, the issue that has several candidates talking tonight. The big slick celebrities in town and putting in a full day to raise money for a special cause. We begin this evening with breaking news. Kansas City, Missouri police are investigating a homicide at Independence and Maple. Live pictures right now. Police say that one person has been pronounced dead at that scene. There's no suspect information at this time, but we'll bring you more information as it becomes available. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rachel Santschi in for Emily Welsh. And with just over a week before the Kansas City, Missouri election, people want to know where the city council candidates stand on the issues. KMBC 9's Bianca Beltran takes us to a forum where candidates were asked how will they support the rights of people living in the city.
For members of KC Tenants, politics are personal. Tiana says she was displaced from her home after she was diagnosed with cancer.
People get sick all the time. A family member gets sick, people's kids, and then they have nowhere to go, or they get an eviction on their record, and then it's like this plague that follows you around. It's hard to recover.
The organization says almost half of city residents rent, and many are living one emergency away from eviction. So they want to know, what will the candidates do to support tenants if elected to city council? Will they support a tenant bill of rights?
I believe that every Kansas Citian ought to have the right to safe, affordable, and quality housing.
How about a moratorium on evictions?
Do I have the answer right now for the solution for the tenants problems? No. Working towards one is something that I do plan to have.
Increase the housing trust fund?
There's a way to take $5 million and do a lot of good with it every year.
Do they take contributions from developers?
Just because someone has given me money does not allow me or require me to do what they tell me to do.
More than a dozen candidates were put in the hot seat, asked for a commitment to improve housing conditions in KC.
Anybody can say what you want to hear when you put them on the spot, but it all comes down to their history of voting, what they've done in the past, and those answers on that questionnaire.
Bianca Beltran, KMBC 9 News.
Now, if you'd like to see how each of the candidates responded to the KC Tenants questionnaire, those answers will be posted on the website this week, kctenants.org. The mayoral election is just over 9 days away. It's on Tuesday, June 18th. We'll be holding a debate between the mayoral candidates Tuesday night at 9 o'clock on KMBC. And we want to hear from you. Send us your questions or topics that you want Quentin Lucas and Jolie Justice to discuss by just going to KMBC.com. And starting on Monday on KMBC 9 News, we'll bring you Commitment 2019 coverage every day with reporters dedicated to the candidates. Tune in as we follow them and the issues up to Election Day. Well, new tonight, an arrest has been made in a shooting at 35th and Prospect. Police say it started with a fight between two men. They say the victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition. And the man who died at Blue Springs Lake earlier this week has been identified. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says 56-year-old Bernard Lindsay of Independence was seen casting a net near the spillway. About an hour later, someone saw the man's body floating in the water. An autopsy is being performed to determine a cause of death. And a pilot received minor injuries after his small plane crashed at Lee Summit's airport last night. The single-engine airplane ran off the runway and ended up on its nose. The damage you see there to the plane is very extensive. The FAA is now investigating. Turning to first alert weather tonight, where the only chances of rain may be sprinkles. Meteorologist Neville Miller says we can expect some more nice days ahead, Neville.
Right, Rachel, we're going to see some great weather for the upcoming week, especially if you like slightly cooler temperatures. Outside right now, it feels great. The humidity is comfortable. Our temperatures are cooling through the 70s, and first alert live radar is dry. Kansas side, Missouri side, nothing out there, but take a look at the bigger picture. We do have rain and thunderstorms, even severe weather across western parts of Kansas. That is our next cold front. The front moves in tomorrow, but for us, that rain is going to start to fall apart and it'll start to weaken as it gets closer to our area. But we still have a chance of seeing a little bit of rain on your Sunday. I'll break that down hour by hour and when that chance will be there. Plus, look ahead to those cooler temperatures that's coming up.
All right, thanks, Neville. Kansas City police are asking for help to crack a 2-year-old double shooting mystery. 27-year-old Alfred Vine Jr. and 44-year-old James Christopher III were found shot to death in a home on Greeley Avenue in Kansas City, Kansas in February of 2017. 2 people were seen running from the house and driving off in a small dark vehicle. Anyone with information is encouraged to call Crime Stoppers at 816-474-TIPS. Turning to the 2020 race for the White House, several Democratic candidates for president took part in Iowa's Pride Fest events today. Senator Cory Booker, Pete Buttigieg, Marianne Williamson, Beto O'Rourke, and others spoke face-to-face with voters and took the microphone to speak to larger groups.
So many LGBTQ youth are isolated, they're alone, and sometimes their very lives are in danger because they are being told that they are less than. That's why I think it's so important, especially during Pride, to lift one another up.
So when we are marching here today, we are standing on the shoulders of people who have come before us, who have fought for us, who have suffered for us.
Whoever the next nominee is for our party, every single one of us will do all we can to make sure that she or he is successful in defeating Donald Trump.
This year marks the 10th anniversary of the Iowa Supreme Court ruling in favor of same-sex marriage. The U.S. and Mexico have reached a border protection deal. As a result, President Trump indefinitely suspended the planned tariffs on Mexican goods. The agreement reached yesterday expands a program of returning asylum seekers to Mexico during a review process. Mexico has agreed to deploy National Guard troops to its southern border to deal with the influx of migrants. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the deal violates the rights of asylum seekers under U.S. law. Trade tensions with China continue to rise. There are now concerns that high-tech companies won't be able to get the 17 rare minerals needed for robotics, drones, and electric cars. China recently raised tariffs to 25% on those exports. There are mineral mines in California, Australia, and Russia that also produce those rare minerals. Well, it's a celebration tonight in Arkansas after a hiker was rescued nearly a week after going missing. Here's ABC's Zachary Quiche with the details of that dramatic rescue.
Joshua McClatchy, dehydrated but in good spirits, now recovering. Rescued nearly a week after disappearing while hiking in the Arkansas wilderness 105 miles southwest of Little Rock.
I never thought I'd see anybody.
This video showing the moments after he was found.
Did you advise you have him? I do have him.
Rescuers using cell phone data to narrow down his location. Eventually, a National Guard helicopter equipped with infrared technology was able to locate him.
By the time he saw us, I mean, he thought his rescuers were angels.
It took about 4 hours for the rescuers to carry him out on a one-wheeled rescue cart. The 38-year-old was visiting from Fort Worth, Texas to celebrate his birthday and set out by himself on the Buckeye Trail, sending his mother photo and text updates. The first coming at 11:27 Saturday morning. And then this photo, his view from the trail at 12:09 p.m. Several hours later, she got a jarring update.
Noticed that at 4:51, he had texted letting me know that he needed help.
Now Joshua was able to give his mother a rough idea of his location before the messages stopped, and that helped narrow the search, thankfully. Well, Big Slick finishes up its 10th weekend in Kansas City tonight. This morning, the hometown crew was at Pinstripes at Prairie Fire in Overland Park. They started things off with a block party. Then they went inside for their charity bowling tournament. The weekend coming to a close tonight at the Sprint Center right now with the Big Slick party and show. Well, this weekend is packed with festivals that will continue tomorrow. People are out having some fun at Lee Summit today. Downtown Days opens again tomorrow morning at 11, runs until 4 o'clock. This free festival has food, handcrafted gifts, carnival rides, and 2 craft beer tents. Old Shawnee Days continues tomorrow as well from 11:30 to 5:30. There will be live entertainment all day long, along with rides, vendors, and food. Tomorrow is Family Wristband Day. All you can ride for $25. Greek Fest underway in Overland Park. It runs tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. There is parking at the Church of the Resurrection, and they'll give you a free shuttle ride over to the festival. The Country Club Plaza hosted the 15th annual Dragon Boat Festival today. There were a lot of special teams competing. Among them was the KC Pink Warriors. The team is made up of cancer survivors, and from a physical standpoint, dragon boat racing great for their recovery. But the team's coach says the benefits much more than physical.
20 years ago, upper body training was discouraged for breast cancer survivors, and the sport of dragon boating contradicted that, and it just became a phenomenon in the breast cancer community. It's therapeutic, it's a sisterhood like no other.
The Dragon Boat Festival also included some entertainment and a number of cultural performances. Well, a great event in Olathe happened today, introducing young women between the ages of 13 and 23 to a career as a firefighter. About 30 women took part, working alongside Olathe firefighters in a controlled environment. They went through search and rescue exercises, deployed the hose line, rappelled, and sprayed water.
I thought it was just such a really cool opportunity. Like, I never would have thought of this as a job that I might be wanting to do.
The Olathe Fire Department has been hosting hero days like this one for years now. Well, Lawrence, Kansas high school students are offering to digitally restore photographs damaged when a tornado tore through Douglas County nearly 2 weeks ago. The large storm damaged trees, power poles, and tossed debris miles away. Graphic design students at Free State and Lawrence high schools will start restoring photos this fall. Teachers say they try to find ways for students to apply learning to real-world events.
Really cool right there. Rachel, let's talk about our weather. We have some changes coming in for next week. We're going to see a big dip in the jet stream, and that will allow some cooler temperatures to return to the area. I'll talk about how much cooler we're going to be in when those rain chances start to go back up. That's straight ahead.
Well, something you don't see in Kansas or Missouri, we have time-lapse video of a massive dust storm. How fast it's moving. Thousands of acres burned tonight as firefighters tell people to evacuate a national forest ahead of a fast wildfire. Also, our military in action, the missions now taking place, and who the message is for.